So welcome back guys, my name's Kevin Egan. I had a number of requests from some of my students in relation to some of the project management tasks and timeline tasks that we're often required to do during the diploma and the advanced diploma of business and or management. So I've put together a brief presentation here, essentially using Microsoft Excel. Now there are a number of other programs that you can use to do these sorts of things. So Excel is just one, but there's many others that you can do a quick search and find some other programs that can run these sorts of programs. So I'm going to run through a very simple program here, and one of the tasks is based on an example with a fence builder that needs to build a picket fence. So now the Gantt chart will indicate several things. Down on the left side here, you'll see the list of activities. So we've got consult with the client, measure site, source and deliver material, etc., etc. So they're listed in order there from 1 down to 9, and you'll see across the sheet these red bars which are indicating an estimated time it will take. Now, just in relation to the time, you'll see across the top we've divided this one into 3 days. So day 1, day 2, and day 3. And each day is divided into 8, being the 8 hours that we work each day. So what most people tend to do with these sorts of timelines is they will list the tasks appropriately, then they'll dedicate time to do each task. However, what you'll see on this particular Gantt chart this particular student did is when one task was complete, then they would start the next, and so on. So each task had to be completed before they could move on to the next task. Subsequently, you get this sort of pattern. However, the Gantt chart is a visual representation of the time and also the activities. However, in discussing this matter with the student, we looked at a couple of different options here, and you'll see this particular sample is somewhat different. The same list of tasks which are listed there. However, if we look at the first couple, we've got consult with client and measure site. Now we see this is happening concurrently. So we've got the starting to measure site at the same time as consulting with the client. And when you presumably give the client a quote, they'd agree to your quote and you'd move forward. Also sourcing and delivering materials and purchase material. Some of that could happen at the same time, and of course wait for the delivery of the material to the property, and then start to prepare the ground and erect the fences, or erect the posts for the fence. Some of that could be done concurrently, and place the horizontal rails and nail those onto the posts, and the last bit there is to nail the pickets on the fence. However, we look at the last item number 9, paint the fence. If you've ever built a fence and painted a fence, you'll understand the benefit of painting it prior to going up. So if you're in that trade, you would subsequently endeavour to paint the fence while doing these other tasks, and subsequently getting the job done before the 3-day requirement from the client. Now, a couple of questions I'd like to pose to you is, 1, what would happen to this task, this pattern of tasks and timeline, if you had an additional person to help you? That person could be full-time, they could be available for the 3 days, 8 hours each day, or several hours each day. So when you give it some thought, because this is all based on one person doing it, if you gave that some thought about another person helping you, could also affect the way these timelines work. And what I've done here is hidden a couple of columns, and I'll unhide them now, let you have a look. So in this one we've got the name of the person. So in task 1, John would be responsible. Task 2, John would be responsible. Task 3 and 4, Paul. And later on, both of them could be working together to potentially save some time. Here I've also added the hours. If you look at some other examples of Gantt charts, you'll see that there's different levels of complexity with them. So in this one, it's quite a simple task of building a fence. However, if we can quickly look and see where we can potentially save some time and so forth. Now, explain this to you in terms of working through it. Now, it is under the assumption that you do know a little bit about Excel spreadsheets and how to colour in the chart or colour in the cells, different colours, and shift the cells and create the right size for the cells. So I've made that assumption, but also you can use the colour in, or otherwise you can use insert a, I think it's under shape, yep, we could effectively insert an arrow like so, and you could put that in where you wanted it to indicate the timelines as well. So if I make that a bit thicker, so you can use those sorts of tools to help you with the project plan. So I hope you got something out of today. Please let me know if you did. My name's been Kevin Egan, and thanks for your participation.